Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at a Seiko SRPD 9.3. Actually, this is the 7.1 and the SSK 003. Just comparing the Seiko 5 Diver to the Seiko 5 Sports Style GMT, SKX style, whatever the long name is for this thing, but Seiko 5 GMT versus the Seiko 5 Diver. Actually, this is in a little bit different category. I think this is called the dress style, but yeah, they're all the same. So I mentioned the SRPD 9.3 because I have one of those as well, and this is the 7.1. Also have the SRPE 5.5. Don't normally wear two watches, just having a little fun today for this video. And I also happen to have another Seiko 5. Just getting them all out for the video here. This one has an aftermarket bezel insert, and I believe an aftermarket bezel chapter ring too. So just looking at these on different options. We have the NATO strap, we have the mesh strap, we have the silicone strap, and then these are also offered on a 3-link or oyster style bracelet. This one here is actually 20 millimeter. It's a little bit smaller, but the bracelet construction is the same. So anyway, let's look at this watch in my hand versus the Seiko 5 GMT. So the price for this watch is $475. This one is $350. This one's $295, and also with the oyster bracelet, $295. This guy here is $275. I think the one on the NATO strap there is also $295. Those are the MSRP prices. Your prices will vary, obviously. So all of these watches do have Hardlex crystal. This one's a little bit different in that it has a Hardlex bezel insert. It has a Hardlex crystal on top of an aluminum bezel insert, and the rest of these just have the aluminum bezel insert, except for this one, but this is kind of a different watch. Just using that one for the bracelet style. So another difference with the bezel. This one has a bi-directional bezel, and that's just a cheap and easy way for them to get the bi-directional bezel for the GMT. And these guys have the 120 click unidirectional bezel, and neither of these line up. The only one that does line up is that one with the aftermarket bezel insert. Yeah, this is a little bit to the right, but actually not too bad. And there's that one, just a little bit to the right as well. But this guy, you can line it up as much as you want. You get all these little fine little adjustments. Oh, also you may have noticed this does have a Cyclops, and that is Hardlex. Doesn't really matter to me either way. I could take it or leave it. Now, of course, all the minute hands of these are in the way. I can see the date easy enough either way. So this watch, the SSK 003, and then you have the 001, which is black and gray, and then the 005, which is orange, and then it also has black and gray. And they all kind of suffer from the same issue, which is depending on the lighting, you can't really tell it's a multicolored bezel. But then when the light hits on this one, I could do this all day. That just looks so amazing, that blue color there, the light blue. Speaking of blue, these all do have blue dials. Hopefully you can see that on your end of the screen there. And it is a red GMT hand. And this one, yes, made in Japan. This one here, just says Movement Japan, so it's not made in Japan, but it does have a nice blue sunburst dial. I think these two are the same dials, just with different strap options. Bezel insert, the chapter ring and bezel insert all look to be the same. And never mind the bezel on this one, but the dial looks to be the same. But then this one here, we do have the white indices, not the Fotina Loom. Sorry, upside down. And that has a red tip second hand. And then the opposite end of the second hand is loomed. Okay, or the counterbalance, however you want to call it. Same on this one here, counterbalance is loomed. So this has the 4R34 GMT movement. All these movements are hacking, hand winding, 6 beats per second. And this one of course has a GMT complication, but it does not have the day. So they converted the day of the week function into the GMT function here. So when you pull the crown out one position, you're in the day and GMT function. So rotate it one way, it changes the date. Rotate it the other way, and it'll move that GMT hand. So let's show you that now. It's right there. The date is moving. And moving the other way. The hour hand moves in half-hour increments here. So this is a traveler's GMT, or I'm sorry, this is an office GMT, not a traveler's GMT. A traveler's GMT, the local time would move independently of that GMT hand. So all these watches are 316L stainless steel. This case looks to be exactly the same as this case here. Now, but the cases are actually different because this would have the cutout for a click spring in here, and this one does not have that click spring ability. So if you wanted to put on a bezel that clicks, you would need to basically take the internals out of this and swap it into one of these guys here. Very interesting design choice there. So these do have drilled lugs. Sorry about being zoomed in so much. And something that I didn't realize, I feel kind of silly for this, but I was looking at the case on this one and I noticed some differences on the case, such as there's this little kind of a cut here right where that chamfer is, and that is on both sides of the case. And then I came to realize, oh hey, the lug width is different on this too. So maybe I knew it at one time, but I kind of forgot it. So this is 20mm lug width, but all the rest of these have 22. And these all do have push-pull crowns, and they're good for 100-meter water resistance. What does it say? Oh, made in Japan. Well, that's interesting. This one said movement in Japan, I think. I didn't realize that the one without the rotating bezel was not was made in Japan. So movement Japan. Movement Japan. Huh, interesting. Okay. Maybe I should have known that already, but I just found that out right now. So that's pretty cool. So for the $475 on this one, you get solid end links with solid links. You still do have the stamped clasp here with the dual pushers and the safety clasp. You have 4 micro adjusts, but the solid links and the solid end links are nice. I looked at pictures of the Seiko 5 diver bracelet, and then the construction looks exactly the same to this one. So you have the hollow end links at the case, and also you have these hollow links down here by the clasp. It's just a folded over piece of sheet metal right there, and that is on both sides of this. It's a very weird choice here. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry about that. Right there, that link is hollow, and of course the other end link at the case is hollow as well. They all do have the display case back, so it's not decorated or anything like that, but I still like to see the movement. And then I'll show you this one here. This is the 4R34. I haven't really studied it that closely, but just looking at it here, I don't really see any difference between the two movements. So let's talk about the dimensions quickly. Actually, before that, I just think it'd be cool to show you. This is a sapphire bezel insert, and then this is that Hardlex bezel insert. And again, this is just applied on top of aluminum. And I'm not sure if this one's just painted from the backside or what. I believe this is well, I think it's from Loom ceramic bezel insert, but it's a sapphire bezel insert. So anyway, I didn't do that mod, I bought it that way. So let's talk about the dimensions. The case on this one I measure at 45.8. And the case on this one I measure at 45.9. Could just be a measurement error in the way I'm holding the calipers, but that's what I'm getting. I checked it a few times. I'm sorry, that's lug to lug for both of these. Lug to lug. 45.8, 45.9. Case diameter, I'm getting 42.5 on both of these, just like the SKX. And also the bezel diameter, 41.3 on both of these. Thickness, the SSK is a little bit thicker. I'm getting 13.8. And on the diver here, I'm getting 13.3. So that's a difference of 0.5 millimeter. I had read online that the movement is only about 1/10 of a millimeter thicker. But it's pretty straightforward measurement. Both of these, flat crystal on the back and flat crystal on the front. And 22 millimeter lug width on this, and it does taper down to 18. And I would assume that the 3-link bracelet on the diver does the same. Looks to be about right, but I don't have that exact measurement. And they both have 7 millimeter crowns. So let's take a look at the Loom. I think I'll just compare two of these to each other. The Loom on these other ones should be the same. So we'll take a look at the Loom on the SSK 003 and compare it to the SR PD71. Seiko and their model numbers. So anyway, be right back. Okay, so I did, hold on, I gotta shut off the other studio lights. Okay, sorry about that. What I was saying is I did decide to throw in the Seiko 5 on the left, which has the aftermarket bezel insert and the aftermarket chapter ring, because the Seiko 5 on the far right has the faux patina or the fake patina loom. I didn't want that to sway what's on the screen here. So the loom is the same on the Seiko 5 GMT, which is in the middle. That's compared to the hands and dial on the Seiko 5 diver on the left. And the one on the right is a little more of a bluish color as compared to the greenish Lumibrite here. So hopefully you found this video educational or entertaining. And as always, thank you for your time and thank you for watching.